in the armor, branch of regret beneath the steel. In the steps and stories, these lessons must be learned. I'm better resent of sorrow in return. Whoa. Gods and titans shudder at the name. In the arms of the Father, march of the history. Old tales of the water, code of ability. In the arms of the Father, scars of the past concealed. In the cracks in the armor, branch of regret beneath the steel, and rags still covering the shade. Gods and titans shudder at the name. Fall to the pain again. Ash on the pile. Call to the rage again. Born back to the fire. I am chaos. I am war. I am fury. And I'm yours no more. In the arms of the Father, march of a history. Old tales of the water, code of ability. In the arms of the Father, scars of a past concealed. In the cracks in the armor, branch of regret beneath the steel. Beneath the steel.
Good morning, friends, and welcome. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to my painting stream, except today I'm not doing any painting. I'm going to be doing some modeling. We'll see how that goes. My name is Andrew, also known as Thanatos, and this is my painting stream where I paint minis. This week I have started a new project. I have this little guy here. Gotrek, I think it's Gurnisson? I've been saying Gurnisson, but I think it's Gurnisson. And we built him yesterday, and we're building a whole diorama to hold him because I want to paint him in an interesting way. Good morning, Lobster of Revenge. And welcome to my new followers. I'm apparently reaching that point where I get random follows in the middle of the night. Last night I got a follow from a Mr. Lighty Man. Meh, could be a real thing. I got a follow from a long string of numbers. That's probably not an actual thing. And I got a follower from horny_portal. Horny on main. Good job, friend. I suspect, because there's no numbers, that that's an actual user? An actual username? I don't know. But thanks for the follow. I'm not doing anything particularly horny. I'm making minis. I'm painting and modeling minis. Let's take a look at what I've been working on. Let's go to Zoom Cam. Here we are over on Zoom Cam with the many various things that I've been putting together. So, as I said, we put together this little fellow, Gotrek. I did some work on him at my place of employ yesterday. No, Amanda, I'm not likely to try to go to the channel of a long string of numbers. Anyways, I did a little bit of work on him. You may recall, yesterday I was working on this little fellow here. This is a, it's kind of washed out, but if I move this to the side. This little thing here is a little dragonling, a little wormling. And my goal is to have him sit astride the rune that Gotrek is holding here. And the difficulty I was having yesterday is this little wormling came with a little round base, sort of like the bases that are on these gargoyles here. And obviously that was not going to work. So I had sort of trimmed around his feet to try and keep his feet, but get rid of the base, and it wasn't really working. So what I did yesterday at work, between customers, is I just snipped his feet off altogether. So he has no feet now. And then I sculpted some feet onto the gem here using green stuff. You can't see it because it's itty bitty. I need a magnifying glass or something. But there's these little claws on his hand there. And then when I merge the two of them, hopefully it looks as if the little fellow has his feet gripping that there. I also drilled a little hole there and a little hole down here. Yeah, paint will help. A little hole there so that I can pin it in place. So we'll do that. I think I'm gonna paint them separately because they're going to be very different paint schemes. This fellow is, I think, going to be reds and oranges, and Gotrek I'm doing in a sort of bronzish look. I want him to look like corroded bronze statue. So he's going to be bronzes and lighter colors and stuff like that. Anyways, so I'm going to probably paint them separately and then put them together later. And then yesterday I also did a whole lot of work on these gargoyles. I've got 3 of these. And the plan is, bring this back into the center, this is going to be the diorama. This is going to be a fountain that Gotrek is going to be standing on. So he'll stand up here. There's little foot imprints here. Yeah, there they are. So he'll stand here. And then around... So one of the things we talked about yesterday was, do I arrange the gargoyles in an outward-facing arrangement with Gotrek sort of up above them? Or do I put them around the rim of the fountain facing in? And that's what I decided I'm going to do. I'm going to have them around the rim of the fountain facing in. So then my next dilemma is, how do I get them to stand up? I could build a little thing out of green stuff like I've done for Gotrek here, but it would end up being lumpen and misshapen and weird. It's just like a mass of green stuff. It's not any particular shape. I kind of smoothed it and tried to get the fingerprints out of it, but I didn't have my sculpting tools, so I couldn't do any sculpting yesterday. Another thing I did at the store yesterday, I bought myself some sculpting tools. So I have sculpting tools now. I don't know where my old ones went. I've got another set somewhere. I've got 3 drills now, 2 sets of sculpting tools. Just organization is not my strong suit, is what I'm saying. Anyhow, so how do I put these on the fountain, on the lip of the fountain, and have them stay there? Well, my thought is I'm going to build 3 little pillars on the edge of the fountain. What am I going to build those pillars out of? Well, Amanda and I have, for years, had in our basement, as emergency hobby supplies, 2 giant slabs of foam. This is extruded polystyrene insulation. There's a lot of it. So we originally bought it for cosplay purposes. Amanda was thinking about making some Mass Effect armor, and we were thinking we could mold this stuff into armor bits. And then we never did that, but we kept the foam, and it was in our basement in our old place. And then we moved, and we took it with us, and now I'm going to use it. So this is ideal stuff for building scenes. I've got a couple other scene building projects in the pipeline, ideas that are percolating in my head. But for today, I just need a tiny bit of this giant slab of foam. This is one of 2 giant slabs of foam that we have, by the way. My one problem is I don't have a saw. I would normally recommend that you get a large rasp file and a saw, and I should probably wear a mask while doing this. It's not like I don't have masks. Safety first, friends. I'm gonna go grab myself a mask. Give me 1 sec, I'll be right back. Hang on. I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. And slightly muffled, but hopefully not that bad. I guess this is one advantage to the current situation that we're all in, is that when you need some protection, you have some lying around. So yeah, wearing a mask because I don't want to breathe in polystyrene. And I'll do a little bit of... I've got the window open. So what I'm going to do, I don't have, as I said, a saw, but I do have a serrated steak knife. Hopefully this will work. So I'm just going to lop off a corner of this thing, and then we'll do a little bit of sculpting. So, yeah, it's working fine. Oh, I hate the noise of... sorry, chat. Maybe I should mute this. This is not an ASMR stream. Alright. Okay. There. There we go. Oh, man, am I making a mess. I knew that was going to happen. Alright. Yes, I am going to vacuum this room after. I will do that thing. Alright. Alright. We're off to a great start on today's stream. So let's go back to Zoom Cam here. Hey, welcome to Zoom Cam. Oh, if it were to work. There we go. Oh, my computer. My computer is struggling today. Yeah. Hopefully everything's okay. So here we are on Zoom Cam. And here's this little chunk of polystyrene that I just cut out. So I need this to be considerably smaller. I figured get a larger chunk and then make it smaller through the process of cutting it up. My plan is maybe 3 little 1-inch cubes. Let's see if I can get that to work. As you can see, or maybe you can't see because it's kind of blown out, but the edge here is very rough. I don't know how I'm... Well, I mean, I'm going to be... let's see. We want it to be about the height of the edge of the fountain. I cut this down a bit using a pair of scissors yesterday, just to make it less tall. So we want this to be about there. Yeah, this is definitely going to be making a mess. Perfect. Excellent. I've got that. Let's cut that into quarters, maybe. Not the cleanest cuts in the world. Stuff is fun to work with. Alright. So that's about the size and shape that I want. It's not super clean cut. I don't think that'd work.
It might.
Okay.
It works on the dice.
So Amanda got me a file.
Just when you get down to the point where you
Just,
found
I don't...
your shape
Yeah.
small enough, it might help smooth the surface down to take paint.
So what I think I'm actually going to end up doing with these is they're just a placeholder for the shape I'm going for. and then I'm going to skin them in green stuff. So I'm not actually going to be painting this. Painting polyurethane is actually, or polystyrene, actually most paints, most acrylic paints will pit the polystyrene as you do the painting. Now I see why, when they're building terrain at the store, they use a heat wire to cut the polystyrene. Because it's obviously it melts it and gives you nice edges instead of what I've got here, which is just the whole thing is falling apart. This is why I'm wearing a mask. It's because all these little bits, and there's probably smaller bits that are floating around in the air. Alright, so I've got a rough cube. It's not great, but it gives me a sort of general shape to work from. And my plan is I'm going to put it like here. So I'm going to cut a little cut in it, like that, not all the way through. And then I'm going to stick it on the edge here. There. That's kind of what I was going for. And then the gargoyles will sit on these. So we'll have 3 gargoyles, and then Gotrek in the center here. Yeah, he's still significantly taller than them, so he's still the focal point of the model. Maybe I want these cubes to be smaller. It's a challenge. It's a design challenge. Let's get all 3 cubes in place and see what it looks like. Because I could put these further in. Well, nobody said this was going to be a precise science. What a mess this is. Okay. It's not an exact science. So much of this is going to be, these are just a base, and then the green stuff that goes on around it all is what really does the molding. this is the core concept. Where's the footprints on this? There they are. So Gotrek has a little lip here on his foot that is intended to be where he goes onto his base. I'm just trying to make that work with the green stuff I've got molded here. This green stuff has begun to set. It's, a very large chunk. I need to carve out these footprints a little bit better. Where's my file? Okay. Just gonna, for the purposes of looking at, oh, for Pete's sake. Because I'm not gluing anything together yet. Okay. This is just to get an idea of the general look of it. I feel like these cubes do need to be smaller, which is tricky because this stuff is difficult to work with. I don't know what'll happen if I try to sand it down. Let's find out. Yeah. This is definitely an occasion where I want to be wearing a mask. That worked a lot better than I thought it was. I thought it was just going to shred it, but it's actually doing a good job of sanding it down. Remember, chat, if you end up doing something like this, be sure you're protecting yourself. See, if I want to, one of the things I'm thinking about doing is having water effects coming from the gargoyle's mouth. If I want to do that, this needs to be significantly smaller. Oof, you know what? I'm gonna turn my mic down while I do this. I have to listen to this, but there's no reason that you folks have to listen to this. All right, chat. Let's take a look at this. This is, I mean, I'm making a huge mess, but I feel like I've accomplished something. Amanda, thank you for getting me that file. It's definitely doing the trick. Oh, and thank you for getting me the mask, because this is important, chat. Don't do this unless you're protecting yourself. You do not want to be breathing this stuff in. But, so here's what we've constructed. I realize it's all blown out. Sorry, I want to try and make this less blown out so that maybe you can see it better. There we go. Here's what we have accomplished. I trimmed it down to a little square. I sort of made it a bit sort of leans in. And in the ultimate version, the gargoyle will go there. Perfect, right? Now I just have to make 2 more of those. So 2 more. I just need to do exactly that shape. All right. I can do this, chat. All right, I'm gonna turn my volume down a bit again. I'll turn up the music. So I'm gonna be quiet while I work on this. Just, I don't want you folks to have to listen to the screechy, screechy, screech of me working with this foam. So give me a sec. I'm gonna turn this down. Still here, just quiet.
Collapsing upon the thrones. Shock to the framework as the shell ignites. Binding the master and the acolytes. Keep running forward at the speed of light. A universe on fire. The coming of age. The stirring of purpose. Within the summer over and over we will ascend. The coming of age. Disturbing the surface. Connect each other over and over to see the end. And dream again. We dream again. To see the end. We dream again. We dream again. To see the end. We dream again. Prophets of industry reveling greed. The slaves of yesterday are rolling free. Synthetic scream of violent viciousty. A universe on fire. The coming of age. The stirring of purpose. Within the slumber over and over we will ascend. The coming of age. Disturbing the surface. Connect each other over and over to see the end. And dream again. We dream again. To see the end. We dream again. We dream again. To see the end. We dream again. Bind the body to the open mind. Bind the body to the open mind. I dream of towers in a world consumed, a void in the sentient sky. I dream of fissures across the moon, leaves of the lotus rise. The coming of age, the stirring of purpose, within the slumber over and over we will ascend. The
The flowers gold will softly sway to reunite the lost and lead us on our way. The glow of soul will light my face. The river's current flows inside each act of grace. Walk the garden, breathe the scent of life. Take this moment just to feel comfort in my tiny paradise, a place for lonely hearts to heal. And when forever comes to be, will I remain inside? A little light of empathy to keep you unified. Keep me inside. The warmest smile, a waiting hand, a friend to free your heart and help you understand. Through life and loss, through thick and thin, we'll help each other face the pain that we are in. Eyes of greed are ever watching me. Lonely rooms and broken time. Plots and plans to pluck the petals free, to drain them of their golden shine. And when forever comes to be, will I remain inside? A little light of empathy to keep you unified. Keep me inside.
Alright, chat. I made a mess. But I also made 3 approximately the same shape little wedges. I gotta say, this is being one of the more interesting streams I've done in a while, just in terms of the amount of new skills I am acquiring. So this is like the very essence of what I want this stream to be. Alright, so we've got these 3 little doobies on the edges of the fountain, which will be where these gargoyles stand. Well, that's not entirely level, but that's fine. And then in the center is where Gotrek will live. Can't get him to stand up right now, but that's fine. There, proof of concept. I'm going to take a quick picture of this, and then I'm going to go grab a vacuum cleaner and clean this up a little bit before we get back to skinning the model, because we're going to start skinning it all in green stuff, which is what we're going to spend the second hour of this program doing. So I will be right back. I'm going to do some vacuuming, cleaning, dusting. I just want to clear this away a little bit so that I can regain my workspace. So I'll be right back, friends.
At night and see how the people cry. Wish away the time to the rhythm and rhyme of a life everybody wants for more. Swimming to the lands of the shimmering sands, and we drown just off the shore. All these voices sound the same. All that changes is the name. And I just wanna hear some music with some soul. So many sheltered shades of gray. I'm not about to mourn the death of rock and roll. Cast your broken shackles away and sing like you mean it. Sing like you're feeling something. Sing like you mean it. Sing like you're feeling something. Oh. Passing the hours and the glittering towers as the bells begin to shred. Toppling down on top of this town, they scatter in a sea of red. And everybody needs a detour to get off the same old road. Take a look around, turn your radio down, it's there in the lines of code. All these voices blend to one as the mind has come to none. And I just wanna hear some music with some soul. So many sheltered shades of gray. I'm not about to mourn the death of rock and roll. Cast your broken shackles away and sing like you mean it. Sing like you're feeling something. Sing like you mean it. Sing like you're feeling something. Everybody wants for something. Everybody wants for more. We wanna hear the jackbirds hum again. Everybody wants for more. All these voices sound the same. All that changes is the name. And I just wanna hear some music with some soul. So many sheltered shades of gray. I'm not about to mourn the death of rock and roll. Cast your broken shackles away and sing like you mean it. Sing like you're feeling something. Sing like you mean it. Sing like you're
Hey, I'm back.
something. And I
Down these creative.
some music with some
Well, that was productive, chat. All right, so I've cleaned up my workspace. I've vacuumed, gotten rid of some of that that dust. That's probably not good to breathe. I think it's probably. I'm in a well-ventilated space. I have the fan going. I have the window open, so I think I'm probably safe to take my mask off now that I'm not actively sanding this stuff. So, okay. Okay. Keep that mask in here, though. That's handy. Let's get over here. All right. Well, so we made some progress. Let's go back to overhead cam. Definitely got some stuff done. So now that we've got all the building bits of this put together, I need to skin the whole thing in green stuff, which is going to be a painstaking process. And I'm actually going to carve in some, I'm going to mold the green stuff to give it some bricks. I could actually, because these are sanded down, I don't necessarily need to skin these in green stuff. I can just use my sculpting tools to carve bricks into these little plinths. But this is beginning to take shape. It's beginning to look kind of what I envisioned. I realize in any project like this, things are not going to go exactly the way you want them to go. And that's okay. That's part of the artistic process, at least for me. I know things are going to look different when ultimately I achieve what I'm trying to achieve. I just have to accept the differences. All right, so I think I'm going to start by skinning the rest of this central thing in a thin layer of green stuff. It doesn't have to be a lot, just enough that I can do a little bit of sculpting on it, give it the look of like having some, make it look like it was constructed from stones. Oh, that's an interesting idea, Lobster. Use that foam in a can crack filler and then mold it after it sets. That's worth a try. That's something I'll investigate at a future date. In the meantime, let's start mixing some green stuff. I have so much green stuff, chat. My fingers are going to be so sticky. It's fine. So I don't want to do huge quantities all at once. I'm going to try just pinching off a little bit at a time. And just do little segments of this as we go. So green stuff, difficult stuff to work with. So reading from chat for anybody in like the YouTube archive or anybody who can't see chat. Amanda says, I remember working with this foam back in theater tech days. It's a nightmare unless you smooth it out. We had to make rocks out of it to surface a well that could be easily carted on and off stage. Before we smoothed it out, the rough bits would get caught in the Bondo stuff we were using as a surfacing for it. Made it all pebbly and rough, which, you know, could be the look that you're going for. Oh my goodness, this is why I have water here. Not because I'm using water for painting, but because I'm using water to keep the green stuff from sticking to me. I want it to stick to the model, but not me. Okay, so I'm just making a thin layer of green stuff. And then we're just going to mold that onto the form. This is very lumpy because this green stuff is older and it's got some dried bits in already. But that's fine. For this application, because there's like, okay, some of it's a little too lumpy. Pick those out. This is intended to look like a rocky surface, so it doesn't have to be super smooth. I'm thinking about the bottom of this. I want it to look like earth, but I don't think I want to put like earth, like grit into it. I'm wondering if I have something I can use as a stamp. to do a earthy texture in the green stuff. Looking at all the various stuff that I've got piled around my nook for anything that could work as earthy texture. So hard to work with. Try and get this skinned all the way around and then carve it or mold it. Oh my goodness. Let's try doing some smoothing. Wetting my tools so that they don't stick too much to the surface that I'm working on. Paint is going to change a lot of this, but okay. So then we want sort of brick shapes. Well, for a first attempt, I think this is looking interesting at least. You can see or maybe you can't see, I can see the shape that I'm trying to get here. All right, let's keep going along those lines. I think this is going to work, chat. So does this show up on camera? Can you see the brick detail that I've carved in there? I think part of this is going to end up being making the paint do some of the work. Green stuff is amazing stuff. Very, very sticky. Sticking to my fingers so much. One more bit of green stuff and I'll have this coated all the way around. And we can do these bricks all the way around. So I had no point of reference going into this for how long something like this should take. So that's another thing that we're sort of discovering today. How long is it going to take me to do this sculpt? Like I have to coat that little section there and then we have to coat the bottom, and then we have to do the edges, around the outside edges. I bought myself a lot of green stuff because I wanted to have enough to do this.
Stain on the grain of the timber, obscured in the trees and the towns. There's a sinister scent on the wind. Time's gonna come around. The red sun is going down. There's a devil inside of us all now. There's a giant to bring to the ground. He's taking us out when it falls. Our time's gonna come around. The red sun is going down. And there's a price to pay for all that we have done. Turn my eyes away and watch
Okay.
the setting sun.
So the whole thing is skinned now. Let's do some sculpting. Put this out of the way for the moment.
Angels in the smoke of the campfires. They weep and they wail with no sound. They darken the lights and the lamps. Our time's gonna come around. The red sun is going down. There's a sting on the gas from the brass now. There's a mark on the wrist of a bound. Raw rings in the cycle of death. Our time's gonna come around. The red sun is going down. And there's a price to pay for all that
I am not a sculptor by nature. I don't have a lot of practice with this medium. So, this is going to be rough, but that's probably fine. Doesn't have to look spectacular. Doesn't even have to really look consistent, because I'm doing sort of bricks. It's okay if they look misshapen and weird.
breathing out my soul. Now loyalty's a pistol. My heart is full of hope. I'm bleeding out my spirit.
The one thing I do not want to do is leave fingerprints in this. So I'm trying to hold it from the inside. Shout out to Paul Goffrin and Nick Howe, who told me to have water handy when you are sculpting with green stuff. Without their help, this would be even more difficult than it is. So I'm trying to use some of the irregularities, the lumps in the green stuff, because like I said, it's older green stuff and it's a little lumpy. But I'm trying to use those to give some character to the model. Ah, straight in the trash. Yes. Perfect. Okay. For a first green stuff based sculpt, this is an excellent primer, like an excellent way to begin. Because this is something very forgiving to do. Like, I almost can't go wrong with this. I'm getting some cool lines in here just by working around the flaws in the green stuff. Alright, I think I've gone all the way around and I've carved in some interesting texture. We'll see what it looks like when eventually I get an opportunity to prime and paint it. I'm hoping I'm going to let this dry overnight tonight. I'm hoping to prime it tomorrow. And then on Thursday, perhaps I can start painting. I keep dropping it. Okay. All right, chat, how long did that take me? I started that at almost exactly 11 o'clock. Took me about half an hour. That's not bad. Oh, the dreaded fingerprints. That'll have to do. Put that to one side to dry. Oh my goodness, so sticky. So unbelievably sticky. Alright. You dry. Now back to this. Try skinning the bottom next. Should be pretty quick, I think. Did not find something I could use to texture the bottom. What do I have that would leave a sort of grainy impression? This is going to be the easiest part, because it absolutely doesn't have to look uniform or even look like anything. Amanda, are you still watching? Can you get those two spammers? I'll get them. Just my fingers are sticky, so it's difficult for me to type in chat. Thank you very much. All right. This doesn't have to go across the entire bottom because this is going to end up obscuring a lot of the middle. Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. You're such a good mod. And an amazing person. My fingers are getting tired from kneading green stuff. With this. I was like, I want to fix this brick. Just need to let this sit. It is what it is. I've done the best I can with it. I'm maybe, before I finish this stream, what time is it now? 11:44. I'm probably not going to get to skinning the outside edge of this today. Just because this is so time consuming and annoying. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to finish the bottom. And then I'm going to go out in my backyard and see if I can find a good rock that I can mash onto the bottom to texture it. Because right now, it's textured with fingerprints. And that's not what I want the final product to look like. So yeah, I think I have time enough in this stream to finish the bottom. We'll work on the sides tomorrow. I'll bring this into work tomorrow, the center bit, and I'll try to prime that, prime the other folks. Actually, I'll probably bring these bits in today and prime them. That way tomorrow I can actually start painting. We're getting closer, chat. We're definitely getting closer. This weird project that I decided to do is actually beginning to take shape. Green stuff all over my fingers. This is so unpleasant. Maybe two more pieces of green stuff, and we'll be done with what we're doing for today. Excellent. Good progress. Good stream, chat. Good stream. Got a lot of work done today, and the whole thing is really beginning to come together. Ooh. Finish this up, skin the rest of the bottom of this thing. I'm gonna have to glue some things to the bottom of this fountain. We're gonna eventually fill it with epoxy. Well, not fill it, but put a layer make it look as if it's filled with water. tomorrow we'll do the sides of this, the outside. I have to decide if I'm going to, if I'm going to attempt to skin the gargoyle plinths, or if I'm going to leave them as is and just carve them. I'm leaning towards carving at this stage. Just mashing this out to the edge there. All right. One more batch of green stuff, and we'll be done with green stuff for today. Let this dry overnight. Keep messing with that pedestal. Stuff. It's just, I'm gonna have nightmares about green stuff after all this. All right, this should do it. This should be the last little bit that I need. I'll go here. Okay, that's the bottom of the fountain skinned. Go out in the yard. See if I can find a good rock with some cool texture. To stamp the bottom of this, and then I'm going to call that done. Whew, chat. All right. So, well, we built these little thingies here. We skinned this, which you can only see the edge of it on the edge of the screen there. We skinned the base. Which is delightfully chaotic. I'm going to add some stuff to that. I'm obviously going to put some skulls in there, because you know me. I like putting skulls on stuff. But, yeah. Looking pretty good, I think. Looking pretty much the way I envisioned it. Not perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be what it is. So, that was fun. This is an interesting project, and I'm definitely enjoying myself. So thank you again for joining me, chat. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to start painting some of these folks. Oh, you can't see because I moved away from Zoom cam. I'm going to actually start painting some of these folks. I'm going to prime them today at work. Give them some little bases to work from. And yeah, excellent. This is all coming together. This is a really fun project. So thank you so much for joining me. Tonight, what day is today? It's Tuesday. So tonight on Amanda's stream, she's going to start reading the first book in the Juniper trilogy, which is a sequel to the second book, which was a prequel. So she's going to be reading Wise Child on her stream tonight at 10 p.m. over at twitch.tv/MerrimanLion. And then I will be back tomorrow morning to do more of whatever this is. And we'll see what progress we can make tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. This has been a weird, wild adventure, and it continues to be exciting. I hope everybody will continue to be excellent to each other and enjoy whatever art it is you choose to do. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.